Sister, do you struggle to keep your child interested in Islamic activities and learning? Do you wish that you could foster more of a love of Allah and His Messenger in your children's hearts? Are you looking for ways to increase the quality time you spend with your children, but want to make sure it involves beneficial activities and not just another movie night? Then this episode of Woman by Nature TV is for you.
يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور نور على نور نور على نور.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Khadija Abdul-Sabor from womanbynature.com and the Purposeful Muslimah Mastermind, where we fuse authentic spiritual principles with practical life and wellness tools to support conscious Muslim women just like you. And today I'm going to be sharing the importance of Ibaadah and spiritual cultivation and making that a family affair. And I'm going to provide you with some practical ways to implement this in your household, inshallah ta'ala. Now, in this episode of Woman by Nature TV, I want to share some insights for those sisters who have children, who may have children in the future, or who are even responsible for siblings or nieces or nephews or children in the community. Nurturing young hearts upon Iman and a love for Islam and their fellow Muslims is one of the most blessed things that we can do for our children. I do know, however, that many sisters can struggle with this, especially in this age of television, video games, and internet. It can be really hard to keep your children grounded and give them the opportunity to develop a deep love for Allah, His Messenger, and Islam in general. Plus, many parents are extremely busy these days, either with full-time work or educational pursuits, taking care of aging parents, or managing large households. With all of this going on, it can be easy to forget to make time for consistent spiritual cultivation of your children. However, what I want to share with you today is how weaving Ibaadah and spiritual cultivation into your family life, basically making Ibaadah a family affair. If you do this, you'll have so many opportunities to positively impact your children with lessons, with guidance that will stay with them for life, inshallah ta'ala. Now, case in point, alhamdulillah, I've been blessed to spend a lot of time with my family lately, and especially my father. And it's bringing up memories of so many things that my parents did with us as children that truly shaped and molded our Islamic personalities, our confidence, and our outlook on life and living as a Muslim. May Allah reward them immensely. And now, as a mother of 5 children myself, alhamdulillah, I try to pull as much as possible from this valuable framework that my parents laid out for us when it comes to cultivating my own children. Now you might ask, why is this so important? Well, number one, we have to understand that children are an amana. They are a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we'll be asked about everything that we were entrusted with in this dunya, including our children. And like I always tell my children, my primary role as a mother and as a parent is to try my best to ensure that they become good, decent, and respectful people. And most of all, excellent, dedicated Muslims, inshallah ta'ala. Everything else comes second. Also, if we don't steep our children in Islam, there's plenty out there waiting to catch their attention, which runs counter to what we believe as Muslims. And thirdly, if we don't keep them connected to their family, there's so many people, things, and whispers that are just begging to permeate their consciousness. Peer pressure is real. Negative media messages are pervasive. It's important that children have a strong foundation and a sense of self and Islamic identity in order to survive in this crazy world. And finally, if we don't build Islamic habits in their youth, what will they have to fall back on as adults? What will they have to fall back on? So, as I mentioned, I've been spending a lot of time with my father, alhamdulillah, while he visited us here in our home. And while here, seeing him do the same things with my children that he did with us growing up, it really warmed my heart and it reinforced the importance of tarbiyah, or Islamic cultivation, especially with children. And one example of this was on Friday, Yom al-Jumu'ah. And my father announced to the children that after Jumu'ah, they would come together and all read Surah Al-Kahf together. Each person taking a page while the others followed along and just going around until the end of the surah. This was something that might seem small, but the children really loved it, mashallah. And it was such a beautiful experience for a few reasons. One, it reinforced with the children the sunnah of reading Surah Al-Kahf every Friday, which inshallah ta'ala they will carry into adulthood. And not only were we spending quality family time together after Jumu'ah, we were continuing to earn blessings by reading the Quran together, alhamdulillah. And also, the children were getting to show their grandfather how well they read the Quran, mashallah. And they were so happy to do that, and it really reinforced a sense of accomplishment and positive self-esteem associated with Islamic education, which is so important. And finally, inshallah ta'ala, the angels that descended to cover that gathering, as they do with any gathering of people who come together to remember Allah, and the good deeds that were written as a result, inshallah ta'ala. So this is just one example of making Ibaadah and spiritual cultivation a family affair, and in a way that children don't feel like it's a chore or something boring, but rather it inspires confidence, it inspires Islamic pride, and inspires family cohesiveness. Some other ways that you can do this could be, for example, recording yourself or you and the children together reading Islamic stories, and let them take turns as well. This will be something that they can revisit often and reinforce the lessons, but also they will hold on to this dearly throughout their life, and it's something they'll treasure as a memory from their childhood. You can also give older children, if you have them, the responsibility of helping younger children with Quran or with things of that nature. And they get to pass along something that they know, which is great reinforcement, because the last stage of learning is to teach. And they will be able to teach what they know, and the other children will feel grown-ups to be learning with them. And also you can spend time with your children after Fajr, which my father used to do with us a lot, and discuss Quran, Hadith, stories of the Sahaba, and even current events in light of our perspective as Muslims. This helps the children to connect to Allah, to His Messenger, to their Islamic identity, and learn how they're to move through the world as Muslims. There's so many things that you can do, but the main point is, don't leave this for your children's school or weekend madrasa. The home is the first place of cultivation and shaping the identity, and embarking on spiritual cultivation as a family has tremendous impact now and when your children become adults. And this will also strengthen your bond as a family and will honor the amana that Allah has placed upon you by giving your children. Inshallah ta'ala, I hope this has been beneficial to you, and I would greatly appreciate if you shared it with other sisters who may need this message. We all rise together. This is Khadija Sabor from Purposeful Muslimah Mastermind and WomanByNature.com, the holistic health and personal development oasis for conscious Muslim women. Until next time, commit to living your purpose on purpose. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء